Hi y'all, and welcome back to my channel. And like a lot of my videos that y'all are going to be seeing in this situation, sorry but not sorry, you are going to hear the whirring of a fan that is set up right there because it is literally painfully too hot to film and look this good. So I have got my fan going up on in there. I have filmed other videos with that shiz and it turns out okay. If you don't like the sound of the fan, feel free to click out now. But y'all, it is literally so hot up in here. I got the fan going and I am filming with no pants on. So you're welcome for having that information as we proceed forward into the video. And obviously what we are doing today is we are going to be going over a lot of makeup nonsense because holidays have fallen upon us. No, not the literal holidays, whereas as I am filming this, it is very much pre-holiday, but the incessant shilling of holiday and Christmas and autumnal themed makeup. Because if I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times. If there's something that these companies like to do, it's make useless products. And there are very few products that are more useless than the ones that are released during holiday. For those of you who have been with me for an extended period of time, you are aware of the transformation we have made from Soraya of gotta have it all to absolutely despising 99.99999% of the holiday crap that is shilled to us. So today, we are going to be going through mostly holiday releases, as well as a few others sprinkled all up in there. And we're gonna anti-haul them because the majority of them are just stupid. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like, ugh. Like for a whole year, I give these brands the benefit of the doubt. We're going in. I'm like, maybe this year they'll be, no. Nay. And then come the end of August, boom! Every kind of holiday release imaginable, the obscene amount of absurdity that has already been teased on Trend Mood is enough to roll my eyes right out of my head and roll them all the way down the hill and show up at the makeup headquarters to ask them in absolute desperation, what the shiz are you all doing up in here? So, without further audacious ado, we're gonna be talking about this shiz and hopefully I can get through it all, and if I can't, well, y'all are gonna see me again being all kinds of nasty because I've reached the point, I know I'm not old, I'm only 30, but I have reached the point of I just don't care anymore. Okay, the first thing we're gonna talk about is I don't believe a holiday release. I honestly, basically, when it hits September, I kind of equate everything that gets released as we're releasing a crap ton of products and shilling all this shiz because it's holiday, because it's time to incessantly, needlessly push the narrative that we need to consume during this era. I've anti-hauled the large version of this, and Urban Decay decided, you know what people need? They need a mini version of that Stoned Vibes palette, which after I anti-hauled it, I'm never gonna touch it, not with a 10-foot pole. Some people who I love and watch on this platform have reviewed it and enjoyed it. Some of y'all have told me you enjoy it, but I consider that original palette to be uninspiring. Now, I have seen some pictures that I'm like, yo, that picture does not look like the way the promo picture made that shiz look. And in those said pictures, it did look a bit more appealing. And then you take this little one that literally takes all the most unappealing aspects of that original one and they put it in this Whittle Baby palette. I don't understand why when it comes to releasing products, Urban Decay does this, Too Faced does this. They take this one thing and they're like, all right, here's the original whatever thing. Urban Decay did it with the Born to Run. So we're gonna release that. And then because we literally have squeezed the well dry, there is nothing left in it, we are literally going to take that same concept and put it into a smaller version. Admittedly, the colors are different. I suppose we should thank them for that. I feel we deserve at least that much. But I also feel that we deserve a little bit more than just sort of the same theme over and over and over again. The whole makeup community, mainstream makeup, is basically just spending its time beating this poor, sad horse to death. Okay, now we're gonna go headlong, right on, running through the snow, through the haze, right into holiday. And who are we gonna start with, boys and gals? Theys and thems? I urge you to leave your decision question answer down below.
Too Faced!
Because if there is a brand that releases the largest amount of excessive holiday nonsense, it is Too Faced. And I always love how hot and bothered trend mood gets when it's like, oh, holiday sneak peek, look, it's Too Faced. I understand it's her job, but at the same time, I'm like, really? Really? This is what we're excited about. The holiday Enchanted BS. That's what I called it. That's not what it's called, although that would display a level of self-awareness that I would applaud the company for. It's their typical fare of like multiple palettes. There's gonna be an Ulta exclusive one. There's gonna be a Sephora one. There's gonna be one that you're gonna have to go on a treasure hunt, scavenger hunt. You're gonna have to find it. And then you're gonna have to give it your firstborn child in order to actually use this holiday crap. It's got a cute little bear on one of them. You know, it's like, oh, it's cutesy and it's Christmassy and it's holiday. If there is ever an excuse to come up with absolutely ridiculous, indulgent packaging, it's the holidays. This is when they let those packaging creators loose. All year long, they keep them in little cages under the warehouses, and then they're like, all right, holiday is hit. Open the floodgates, let them do whatever the flip they want. There is nothing revolutionary. There is nothing different. Not only do you own this from other brands, you own this from Too Faced. It's not like they're releasing anything different every year. We just shellac a different sappy kind of holiday whatever themed thing on it. And in the same vein, we've got the Too Faced Cinnamon Bear holiday BS. Now, admittedly, out of all of it, this was the one that I was like, oh, that's cute. I like cinnamon bears. I like to consume them. I love me some red tones. But you take out the fact that it's red tones and you're like, okay, all right, well, it's, you know, it's just another Too Faced holiday release. We got cheap cardboard packaging. We've got cheap manufactured eyeshadows. We have cheap everything that we are going to take and put into this really pretty, really cute, thought out presentation, and we're gonna sell it to you. We're gonna tell you it's worth $289. But hey, out of the goodness of our holiday cheer-filled hearts, we're gonna sell it to you for $42. Y'all, I hate it when companies do that, and Too Faced and Tarte and all them holiday things, they come out with a palette, they're all like, it's worth $124. When there has never been a palette by that particular company that retailed for that price. This isn't Natasha Denona, you know, and then they're just like, oh, it's such a great deal. It's such a great deal. No, it's not. No, don't buy it. Just don't. Stop. No, put it down. But they're like, oh, it's such a great value because it's a holiday and it's a value set. I need to move on before I have a blood vessel literally burst out the side of my head. That would get me some views. All right, we might as well get the Too Faced. Oh my goodness, we've got another one. We got two more of this company. This is when they really, I mean, they never stop releasing, but this is when it gets bad. This is when all critical thinking, any last little drop, the two brain cells left in the Too Faced company that are desperately bouncing against each other, they're gone. They're gone. They're out. But we have a less offensive item on this list, the pumpkin spice palette. Y'all, Too Faced finally went and did it. They were like, you know, what do all the basic girls, basically what is anyone? Basic girls, basic boys, basic theys, basic thems. What do the people love when the leaves start hitting the ground? And that is pumpkin, spice, everything. I am one of those people. I love the flavor, though I do believe that apple cider is the true unsung hero of the spooky season. And looking at this, admittedly, it could have been a lot worse. Also could have been a lot better, and that's why we're here today. When we wanted this palette was 3-4 years ago, and instead of doing the pumpkin spice palette, Too Faced said, let's do the gingerbread palette. So they did that one. That one was really popular. I enjoyed it while I had it. It's gone now. It's decluttered. And then instead of doing the pumpkin spice palette, they decided we're gonna do a round 2 of the gingerbread spice palette. But then, come 2020, the year of honestly anything imaginable, they were like, all right, I guess we can finally take this one from the drawing board and bring it to fruition. You got the pumpkin spice palette, which is a little bit of spice to it. I admit, a part of me, will admit, was slightly tempted because the colors were nice compared to all the other things that Too Faced has been releasing. This is a relatively inoffensive color story, which isn't saying anything, but we're scraping the bottom of the barrel, so we're doing what we can. It's got a purple, it's got a, it's a basic Too Faced, warmy, ready, slightly thematic color story with some other colors thrown in because, like I said, we've taken our creative director out and shot him. We're all just currently Jesus take the wheel right now with this company and hoping that we're able to stay afloat because of our packaging, because our innovation is done. It's not something that absolutely completely offends me. I did have a moment of, I could buy that. And then I reminded myself, girl, Too Faced does not have an eyeshadow formula that I reach for that makes me happy. So no, I'm not gonna buy it. Another Too Faced item that doesn't exactly completely offend me is the Too Faced Mariel Amor Caliente. Like I said, 4 years of Spanish, and this is all I have left. I believe this palette is a collaboration. Obviously, I'm ignorant to who the collaboration is with. I apologize for that. But y'all, looking at this thing, you're like, okay, all right, kind of in the vein as the pumpkin spice. It's a little bit of red, a little bit of pinky, a little bit of purple. If you take this palette and deconstruct it, it essentially looks like a pinkier version of the Pretty Mess collaboration collection eyeshadow palette. Too Faced is not. I don't know. I cannot iterate this enough. They are not breaking any boundaries. They're not creating anything new and unique. Anything that actually breaks the fourth wall of makeup consumerism. They're very happy with creating the same stuff over and over again, repackaging it in new, fancy aesthetic. They're a lot like ColourPop, where they take the same color story, swish it around a little bit, and then package it in a new aesthetic, And then the other thing they love is taking something that was really, really good and then discontinuing it. I'm not interested in it. It's the same as everything else they have done. There's just nothing new, interested, innovative, or nothing about the shiz they be releasing. Okay, we might as well stop ragging on Too Faced and we'll do something that's probably been in an anti-haul just about every year around this time that I've anti-hauled, occasionally said that I regret not buying, though I don't think that's going to be the case this year. Hourglass, like they do every year. If there's one thing that the holiday releases is they're consistently repetitive. Basically, they find one thing that works for them and they just go with it. Lorac had the Mega Pro palette. Marc Jacob did those big awful $99 palettes that I actually had the audacity to buy one of. But Hourglass does their ambient lighting palettes. We've got the 4-pan, 8-pan, which is going to be the $80 job, and then we've got the 4-pan, which is going to be the $60 job. If there was a year that I didn't need to purchase an overpriced face palette, it would be this year. So we might as well talk about these palettes. It's not like they offend me. As I say every time I discuss them, these particular palettes have a cult following who love them, think they're the best face products that ever existed, buy them every year, and that is fantastic. I have the things that I am committed to buying, and y'all have the things that you are committed to buying. But I have no affinity or natural love for these particular things. You know, they're pretty, they're nice. If I had all kinds of money to burn, maybe I would buy one. But I don't have money to burn, and any money I had to burn was spent on buying Halloween things I didn't need. And so as such, I'm just not going to be buying these. Would absolutely love to know the quality, but I feel like with a lot of holiday releases, after you do them for 2-3 years, they honestly start to look really similar. And while they still look really pretty, they're just not calling to me to spend $60 or $80. Something that's a little bit less offensive and something that's kind of just like, you know, you see it and you're just like, you know, once again, had I money to burn, were I someone who wasn't as enlightened to what I will actually use in my collection, I might snatch these up. Huda decided to release 3 more of those really cute little 9-pan palettes. I really love the ones that I have. I became a little bit disenchanted with them when I bought the nude ones because I found the mattes weren't her typical formula and the shimmers weren't all that either. But she has released her haze ones, a very nice idea that I can get behind. There's a nudie one, which I feel like if you have her new nudes palette, you ain't gonna need this. And sort of in the same way, I feel like the purple one, if you have the new nudes palette, it's not necessarily that you have that, but you can probably get a very similar look. Or even if you have the little nude mini ones. You know, those two aren't really anything we haven't already seen from her. But she also released a very, very pretty green one. Kind of similar to that Dose of Colors khaki green. We're going for kind of a bronzy and a khaki green and a gold sort of aesthetic. That's a color story that companies seem to be kind of edging towards currently. Is it pretty? Yes, your girl obviously loves a green aesthetic. But those palettes are they 29? No. I think they're like 26. You know, it's the type of thing where I'm like, I would get it and I'd be like, oh, look, it's a nice green, khaki, something, whatever. I'm sure I have those shades. I have got Milk Cosmetics Gemini. I've got Milk Cosmetics 420. I have got 2 palettes full of Give Me Glow cosmetic shadows. I got Juicy Olive. I have got so many green eyeshadows. I am sure that I already have enough to maybe not dupe, but make it so that I don't need this in a sense of I'm lacking those colors. If the quality is amazing, definitely let me know down below. I love hearing about things that y'all are like, hey, I tried that and I love it. And I'm like, okay, all right, come 2021, we'll see what happens. Okay, this is going to be, if y'all have heard this once, y'all have heard it again, y'all are probably gonna be tired of hearing about it. But so long as companies continue to do this, which I don't see any sort of stopping anytime soon, not only is this company doing it, but other companies are doing it, is making food themed palettes. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I like food themed palettes that are done well, where the food theme is expertly portrayed and laid out in the color story. I don't want the food theme to be based and banked on the big, bulky, oh look, it's so cool in food themed packaging. I'm just not about that. I don't have time for that. So, Glamlight, who is a repeat offender because that's the only thing they do, it was cute. The first couple of times I was tempted by the burger one because it had some nice reds and some greens and it was kind of in my color house. But then when you take that and you're like, all right, let's make a palette based on every kind of food imaginable, it does get a little bit old. I understand that's what their company is based on. That's their aesthetic. But thing that I dislike the most about this sort of thing is not only this company, but other companies. What this is an excuse to take a theme and be like, oh look, it's a food palette, and then be able to put whatever the frig they want in it. And it is justified by the mere fact that, oh, it's an ice cream palette. Oh, it's a cake palette. Oh, it's a sundae palette. And now, while these color stories do not offend me, I saw the ice cream one, I saw the cake one, they got all kinds of big, bright, beautiful shades. Y'all know your girl loves the color. Your girl loves the color in a much more concentrated, smaller, curated form. Like the BH Cosmetics sundae palettes. You know, they're like, let's focus on a scoop of ice cream per palette rather than the whole blinking ice cream shop. It's not that I hate palettes that are like that. It's that I, for myself and what I like, I'm done with the big old giant bulky whatever. I am probably fairly certain to say, if KVD were to be all like, all right, people, it's been 6 years. We've now decided to make the Mi Vida Loca, Revita La La La. The Mi Vida Loca Remix palette, permanent, with the same packaging it had. I'd be like, thank you, pass. Because I know I have those colors. And I know I have those colors in a much more curated, smaller, less cumbersome packaging. This is a personal thing. This whole thing is. I speak a la hyperbole, but I'm just done with the whole let's take the food theme and just put so much in it. Any potential, there is no filter, there is no refinement. We're just putting everything in it. Then we might as well end on sort of holiday gibbons sets. Sets are a thing. Sets are always a thing. They're gonna be a thing. And then they're still going to be in the sales section after holidays are over in, I'd say, till March, April, maybe even May. Because every company does it. All the companies make these little sets. You've got the Sephora favorites. You've got the minis. You've got the full size with the mini. You've got them from different companies. You've got skincare sets. All sorts of sets that are specifically curated and marketed via holiday that we can't say continue to sell at full price for the rest of the year because they are marketed for holiday. We make 1,000 of them, they don't sell, and then we're stuck with that stock that, you know, gotta put on clearance because we gotta move that shiz out. We got the MAC holiday, you know, as of filming this, only the lipsticks have been teased, and oh look! It's sort of a like frosted snowflakey-esque packaging. I feel like the more rotations I have around the sun, the less enchanted I am with repetitiveness. You know, you see it and you're like, okay, all right, whatever. It's pretty once. And then when you do it every year, it's just another embossing of a snowflake. It's just another frosty, hinty, snowy, whatever theme. You know, the next Too Faced holiday palette isn't going to be a palette. It's going to have like a flip-up whatever that turns into a snow globe that you can shake. Y'all know I hate holiday. If there were to be anything on this planet that would turn me into the Grinch, it would be the excessive incessant, unnecessary nonsense of every single blinking thing that gets released every single year. It is the push of excessive consumerism, the fact that we need to buy, all the unnecessary things is just accumulated together in this era for makeup. I cared about it once, I don't care about it anymore, and I feel like that's gonna be the hill I stand and die on. And that's what I have for y'all for this anti-haul. Obviously, there's gonna be more because obviously we have only touched the tip of the iceberg. The beauty community is like the Titanic, and we are headed toward total destruction. And yes, the companies are most definitely the iceberg. Would love to hear what y'all have to say about these products. If it's something you gonna buy that is fan-tuckin'-fastic. You keep doing you, boo-boo. But thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, and as always, keep it real. Mwah!